Hope you're having a great week. So much has been happening around here that it's hard to know where to start. I was just commenting to a friend that I feel like I did very little for the last year and a half, what with my parents' illnesses and COVID and all. Now it seems like everything has come back and I'm constantly fighting to keep afloat. And while I can't say I'd like to go back to the days of uninterrupted painting and writing, I guess I really actually would like to take a bit of a break. If you enjoyed today's content and you really want to make me happy, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel while you're in the clicking mood. It really does help my channel grow if you do. Hi, I'm John, and this is Bogdan. Join us on our journey as we figure out how to earn a living as artists, introduce you to those we meet, and share what we learn along the way. It's funny, Bogdan and I keep applying for exhibitions abroad, hoping that we'll get accepted for a show and have to travel for the opening night. He was recently accepted for a show in Argentina, and we thought, right, we're flying to Buenos Aires. And then we found out that the show was virtual only. Still a huge honor, but it doesn't look like we'll be vacationing in the Pampas. Then he got an award just this week for a show in New York City. Another huge honor. But you guessed it, it's an online show also. Oh well. We're both applying for an exhibition in Mexico City through the PRPGMX, where I do my residency program. So a trip to Mexico City would be a spectacular alternative. Fingers crossed. I wanted to spend some time processing with you all the things that are going on with my solo exhibition that's due over just in about a month. As I mentioned last time, I'll be launching a legacy series that will consist of 5 exhibitions spaced 5 years apart, spanning a 20-year period. That's 20 paintings every 5 years until I'm 80 years old. The idea is to create a very collectible series that will span my entire professional life as an artist. I'm calling the series Panca Marga, which is a Buddhist teaching about there being 5 roads to perfection. I was finally able to finish all 20 of the paintings, and I'm busy now getting them varnished and wired and framed. I had an artist friend come by last week to help me stretch the 2 large pieces, and we've ordered all the moulding to do the custom framing for the odd-sized works. Luckily, the majority of the paintings can be easily framed with off-the-rack frames. But now the event gets really cute. I've had a couple of engraved stamps made. One is about 3 inches in diameter and the other probably only about 1 inch around. And I'm stamping the back of each painting with a red series logo. And we'll stamp the certificates of authenticity with the logo in sealing wax. And then I've had some tiny lapel pins engraved with the logo so that each collector can get a pin acknowledging them as collectors of the Panca Marga series. Okay, perhaps I'm going a little bit overboard there, but it is really cute. The room is reserved, the catering is booked, so now we're down to getting the invitations and printed materials ready to go off to the printer this week. I'll have printed invitations along with a poster or 2 for the venue. Then I'll also create a catalog of all the work that will be kind of similar to the zines that we've been publishing in the past. That's basically a 8x5, 8.5 sheet folded with a thicker paper for a cover. We use Mixum for online printing, and we've been really impressed with their pricing as well as the quality. With art, getting those colors right is so important, and they've not failed us yet. I was able to secure a letter from a painter, John Ross Palmer, a friend of ours, who gave me the idea for the series in the first place, and a dedication from our friend Princess Brianna Karaja in Romania. Hopefully that will give some class and gravitas to the catalog. She's one of Bogdan's best friends, and she introduced us 20 years ago. Brianna did the welcoming opening speech at Bogdan's first photography exhibition in Romania back in 2004, and now she's dedicating the catalog to my first ever exhibition as well. I think that's super cool, and it means the world to me. Well, as we've been discussing for weeks now, we know that As creative entrepreneurs, we have to wear all sorts of hats and become competent in all sorts of fields in order to run a successful art business. We've also spoken about how all of the planning, marketing, publicity, and sales will have to be done by me because there's no way I can afford to outsource all of those tasks. I've been able to hire a caterer and we'll pipe in some music. We paid a printer to produce the invitations, and we're having all the catalogs printed online. So all of that, though crucially important, is really not the most important part of the event. The part that will make or break the evening is the quality of the experience, and that falls to me to organize as well. We've discussed in previous episodes the importance of the experience when trying to sell art. And it's there that I would like us to spend some time now. I believe with all my heart that people come to art venues as much for the experience of shopping for art as they do to actually acquiring art. You will occasionally get that couple who've just purchased and furnished their new home and they need to fill it with art immediately before that first party is thrown. Those folks come in with a list, a color chart, and they'll work through a row of studios like I move through the produce section at the supermarket. I think we can safely rule them out, as they're as rare as hen's teeth, even if they are always welcome. I'm referring to the true collectors, who likely go to a variety of art events around town and have particular artists that they follow, even if from a distance, to see what work they're producing. These folks expect more than just an open door and a smile when they enter. They're looking to see the art, chat with the artist, hear the stories of the pieces they like, and only then, if all the stars align, they'll make a decision to purchase. Purchase something they love. These are people who have probably been to visit your studio before and may have purchased a little something from you in the past, just as a show of good faith. I recently had a delightful couple stop by to visit, and when the chat was going well, they purchased a $100 print. If I'm reading them right, they're telling me that they like me and that they're going to keep their eye on what I'm producing in the future. And while I'm certainly appreciative of the purchase they made, if I can develop a relationship with them, they may continue to buy my art over many, many years to come. So how do we set up an experience of our art for our collectors and potential collectors? There are obviously many ways, but let's just consider my options for this pending exhibition. Number one, people want to be honored by being invited personally. That's easy with family and friends, and I will certainly send personal notes to all my previous collectors. But let's be honest, I have emails that on my newsletter list that I may not even have names associated with. I think the best I can do with them is to send a direct email, not through a mail service, inviting them to the event. So I'll do my level best to be as personal as I can with those invitations. I've also ordered some printed invitations as well. So for anyone that I have a physical address, I can mail them a card with some sort of personal note. And number two, people want to mingle. The whole reason to have a reception event is to give folks a party-like atmosphere to attend. They want a place to go with something interesting happening where they can see other cool people and also be seen as well. So we'll have a lovely catering, a lovely display of the art and drinks, wine and such, and a sound system with some music and a speaker system so that people can actually hear anyone making a presentation. The event will last for 2 hours, and I think the trick is to have something happening every 20 minutes or so that people don't have time to get bored and leave. As I mentioned last week, I'll also have someone whose job it is to watch the crowd and engage people who are alone or who are looking at their watches. We'll also produce a short movie about the collection, and we'll play that at some point during the evening. That's what we'll do for the general audience. But what do we do for those special VIPs we want to court? I could have a special preview event, but I don't want to pay the caterer twice. Moreover, I don't want the collector crowd to attend an early event and then not show up for the main party. So what I've decided to do is invite the VIPs to arrange appointments with me to view the work early at their leisure, and I'll be sure to have some nibbles and drinks available. That way I can spend some quality time with them and still not sabotage the main event. It all has to look really professional and well thought out. When people arrive, they'll need to be greeted, given nibbles and drinks, and welcomed by the host. Then they get a catalog and a price list. And when they're really ready to buy, that square card reader is right there. We have to go and we'll place a red dot on the piece of work that they've bought, and they'll get a packet with a certificate of authenticity and their collector lapel pin. They'll get a photo for marketing purposes, and I'll get their home addresses to deliver the work after the exhibition is over. Number 3, I mentioned in the last episode that we'll also simulcast the event on Zoom and Facebook Live. That's still happening. And I feel it's super important that those people have an experience as well. I can't imagine anything less interesting than watching a party like a fly on the wall. So those who attend the party remotely will be able to have content available to them. They'll be able to see the live event, and they'll be able to interact with me on camera as we have a live person. We will also have a live person there to help answer questions and monitor the chat room and take bids for artworks. Well, once they purchase a painting, then I'll be able to ship them all the information that I described above. So that's where I stand precisely 1 month out from the opening of the show and 39 days before that reception. I'll start sending out press releases this week and add to community calendars as well. Next week, I'll start with the printed invitations, follow the next week with the email invites. It's all happening, and although I should be scared stiff, I'm having the time of my life. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye now.